teenage boy and his friends face off against a mysterious grave robber known only as the Tall Man, who keeps an arsenal of terrible weapons with him. Phantasm is a cult film I first watched when I was a teenager, maybe 14 years old. I remember falling in love with the movie and the Phantasm series as a whole. I haven't seen the film in years, the first one anyways. I thought it would be perfect to review and study during the spooky month of October. Don Coscarelli made a feature film entitled Kenny and Company, and while screening it, took note of the audience's reaction to the jump scares in the movie. This influenced Coscarelli to make a horror film next. Originally, Phantasm was inspired by Something Wicked This Way Comes and was going to adapt the story, but the rights were sold to somebody else. According to the wonderful world of the internet, the total budget of the film was $300,000. Most of the funding came from Coscarelli's father, and the rest was from doctors and lawyers. Most of the crew were friends and aspiring professionals looking for their big breaks. Filming of Phantasm was done over weekends for about a year. The film was shot in the San Fernando Valley in Chadsworth. The script was ever changing, so the actors never knew exactly what was going to happen, so a lot of the scenes were improvised. Post-production of the film took roughly 8 months to finish, and the first test screenings were hated because of the long length. Most of the character development was cut from the film and is the reason for the dream-like narrative. The movie had several shot endings and Coscarelli had free reign over which one to use because of his independent financing. As the film opens, we are thrown right into the mix. We see a man and a woman about to get it on, and the man is murdered by the lady. Starting a movie like this is great. We are graced with a killing right off the bat, and for the male audience, we are given our mandatory boob shot right away. The strongest things we can take from this film, I would say, is the unique story and the drive to finish what you started. I found that the writing is hit or miss. Sometimes I feel things happen in a story that are great, like the beginning where Tommy dies and Jody goes to the funeral with Mike watching from the bushes. We see Jody visit his parents' grave and Mike sees the tall man throw the coffin in the hearse by himself. The whole basis of the film is given to us quickly and well done. But then we get to the end, and spoilers everyone if you haven't seen the end. I remember watching this film as a young tween, already seeing the second and third film in the franchise, so I knew things will continue on. That ending has always floored me. I don't understand. I guess it was played as the whole it was a dream thing, but Reggie died while Jody didn't, but when we come to Reggie, now he is alive and his brother Jody is dead. Now that I am much older, I understand what was going on. Coscarelli was given hints all through the movie that this could have been all in Mike's head. I get that now, but the ending is still confusing. After researching this, it might be because of the major edits in the film that the ending is so bizarre. So, there's a few things we can take from this. Having a unique story can trump some problems in the story. And this is true because Phantasm was given a much bigger budget for the second film by a studio, and after that continued to make 3 more movies in the series. I also feel that if the script was solid from the start of principal photography, these problems would have already been fleshed out and not have to complicate the story. Make it your first and only priority, and when it's done and rewritten 20 times, then go out and start shooting. Other than being a product of its time, an independent film in '79, and the unique story, filmmakers can't take much from this movie. I feel the cinematography is okay, nothing to write home about, compared to what people need to produce nowadays. The directing was alright. It could have been because the actors were not professionals, but I felt that being a veteran, Coscarelli could have upped his game a bit. Finally, the tall man. He is the best thing about this movie. He is freaky, scary, strong. He is what nightmares are made of. An alien being from another planet? They expand on that much more in the later films, but God, Angus Scrimm was perfect for this role. He played it well. Students of filmmaking can learn a thing from the man who inspired Slender Man and many other horror icons. Having something unique and frightening like him in your film can really up the ante. I would recommend watching this film just for Angus Scrimm. Like, check out this scene right here. Doesn't that just creep you out? And it takes place during the day. Now, on to my review. Is this movie amazing? I certainly would have said yes when I was a tween. Now, after rewatching, I would say, meh, it's alright. If you haven't seen the film, I would say watch it and get through it so you can watch the later ones in the series. I feel they are much better than the first. The story is very unique and they expand on it much further in the sequels. The directing and acting are subpar, but it is an old horror movie, so what do you expect? The narrative can be great and confusing at times, which I explained earlier. The music though is amazing, kind of like Tubular Bells. So what would I rate this movie as? I would say 65 out of 100. It is good and brought back nostalgia, but has some faults. So check it out if you need a horror film to watch in October, or just get through it to watch the sequels. Thanks everyone. What do you think of Phantasm? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think my opinions are stupid? Let me know in the comments below if you like this review. Subscribe for more videos like this, alright? Bye bye.